watch the bangs. Actually, it's always watch the hair. Watch the hair, then you'll know what's going on.
This is Unposit, the podcast by a family of geeks.
Where are all the women unpausers at? Go on a ride with us as the two females of the Unposit crew went to screen Little Women 2019 version. Georgia, aka Furious Jeb, and I, LadyDisdayn, chatted about the film and the times on the way to the theater, and then grabbed some reactions afterwards. Please forgive this grown woman's lack of historical data, but rest assured I remedied that later and added some of the data to our online review at unposit.show. Okay, on with the pod. Is this thing on? That's what you want to say.
Probably.
Yeah. Where are we going?
To see Little Women.
Little Women.
Woman.
What do you know about Little Women?
Practically nothing.
That's okay. Sometimes people know practically nothing about movies and they see them anyway.
I mean, like, why not?
That's right. What can we assume about Little Women from the title?
Tiny childs that are female.
There you go. So, kind of girls, but they're referred to as women. Did you know this is based on a book?
Probably. Because everything's based on the book nowadays. And if it's not, well, there's already books about it, so.
And I don't remember who wrote the book, which is going to make people groan at me. But I did read the book a long time ago.
Reading.
I'm sure we'll add details about who wrote the book to the podcast and the webpage. But, so I know you know very little about it. I did explain a little bit about the story to you, or like with the setting, right?
Yeah, like Civil War type stuff.
Yeah, it's colonial America, so we're talking like horse-drawn carriages still, lamps, not really any electricity, that kind of thing. People were poor. Women were poor because they relied on men for their property and money.
Yeah.
Right?
And like, that was, so when did the, women get to be able to vote?
Oh, God. See, now you ask me another question where everybody's like, you don't know this.
Well, I mean, I learned it, but then I forgot.
So the suffrage, women's suffrage, which was saying we want the right to vote, believe was in the early 1900s, the early 20th century.
Knew it.
Yes. I just don't know the exact year, which makes me terrible. But your dad,
it doesn't.
But your dad does like to bring this up, that the state we live in, Colorado, actually legalized women's right to vote before it was recognized nationally.
Cool.
That is pretty cool.
Okay, so first only white men could vote, then black men could vote, and then finally all of the women could vote.
I will need to confirm that. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's how it worked.
Yeah. I mean, See, now I feel horrible. Oh, God. For all the parents out there, particularly women, who are, groaning at me, I totally get it. I deserve the groaning. If you are like, oh, my God, Rachel, I don't know either. I'm Googling it right now so I can be smarter with if my child asks these things. I'm right there with you. I will be looking these up when we get to the theater because now I feel very bad that I don't know these things.
Well, I mean, like, you learn it from teachers, not your parents.
Yes, but you can also, hey, come on, car. You can also learn it from, you do learn it from school, but I mean, I can go on Google right now and learn it. And also the fact that they celebrate the women's right to vote every year and say it was this many years ago. And I have a feeling like even there's the bicentennial of that or something was in Colorado recently for when the state legalized it. So I should be paying more attention. It's very bad.
Yeah, and I know, like, either it was a civil war or was, like, some type of war, like, probably overseas, where women finally got to work because men were off, like, stabbing things and stuff.
That was World War II, I believe.
Ha, knew it.
Rosie the Riveter, you've seen those, like, posters where...
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, do you know the one where, have you seen the poster where it's, like, the woman in the red bandana, she's kind of doing this, and it says, like, we can do it?
She's holding up her muscles.
Yes. Have you seen that one?
Probably.
I think that you'd probably recognize
I think I've seen it, like, at Grandma's house, because, like, she's old. Like,
But that was part of the campaign then to say we need women because they had no men, all the capable men were fighting, and so they're like, but we still have to get work done. We have to build things. So they actually that was finally a thing where they employed women to say, hey, we need you to come in and do this. Can you please?
And they'd be like grown, and I'd be like, ha, in your face, losers.
Who'd you say that to?
I don't know, the past.
Yes. It's hard to imagine how things were. And that's what I think it's interesting to go see movies like this. I don't think there's anything you're strange to because you're probably like, yeah, I've heard of this kind of stuff. But
in history, well.
So, like, for one thing, in the story we see, and hopefully they'll tell this in this movie, it's part of the story. Remember I mentioned one of the little women, one of the sisters is a writer.
I'm pretty sure I remember that, but I don't know if I was paying attention or not.
Well, because she's a writer, but she's living in a time when you rarely, if ever, saw a woman's writing published because it was assumed, why would you write? You have other things to do, like keep a household and have babies. Yeah, so it was rare, if not impossible, to ever have a woman try to publish something she wrote. So hopefully they'll refer to that a little bit in this movie.
What about in that one Deep Space Nine episode where Cisco went back in time?
Yes.
And he was like a different person, and like he was still black, and then Kira was like still female, and they were like writing books, but they had to miss the picture days because, secret identities.
That's right. They wrote for a newspaper, and every time they did a picture of the staff, they would always say that the black member on staff and the female member on staff were not present because they didn't want to let people know they had a black staff writer and a woman staff writer. But that was, now think about that there were cars. I mean, that was in the 20th century, in the 1900s. Way later, women could vote, but that didn't mean that they could do jobs with respectability and stuff. So, we're still coming a long way. I mean...
And yet, there's like 3 teachers at my school who are male.
That teaching, there's another one. So there's a reverse stereotype.
Sorry, 5.
Teaching historically and, statistically was largely relegated to women. Though there were men too, but it was, and you do nowadays, I think there still are mostly women who teach, but men are fabulous teachers. And sometimes they're better teachers based on like the students, because I don't know if you've noticed, sometimes boys have a little rougher time at school than girls, because it's just a different mentality, different energy level, different everything.
Well, I mean, they're more crazy. But, I'm crazy. I'm just as crazy as them.
Yes, but you can tap it down and, sit still.
Can I?
Based on your discipline record, I'm going to say yes.
Is that true?
I don't know, but
Okay, so, we have this one teacher, Mr. Haynes. He was, literally, was in the army. Mm-hmm. And now he teaches, yeah, grammar.
Does he teach you grammar? Because,
no,
okay.
He's in junior high.
Okay.
And 5th grade. Mm-hmm. So, he teaches social studies, so.
Oh, okay. Does he teach Willis? I think he teaches Willis.
Well, I mean, he's a junior high teacher, so I'm guessing.
I think he's the one, he's actually going with the class trip to D.C. So, I think I know who you're talking about.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing that has something to do with social studies, or else it's just a random money-spending trip.
I still remember my algebra, trig, geometry, all out of order, and calculus teacher from high school was a man, and he was really cool. I liked him a lot. I don't remember his name. I just remember I liked him. He was cool.
Yes.
We were talking about women and progress and where they were in society, and the fact that I don't know a lot of the dates that I should.
Random rambling off. While we're being bored, let's talk about Minecraft and how Minecraft is great and how Baby Yoda is coming to Minecraft and all things will be better.
Now, have you seen Baby Yoda in Minecraft yet?
No.
Okay.
I think it's coming with the 1.15 update, which is either December, January, and maybe February. Hopefully not March.
Okay. So it rolls out like they do updates, basically.
Yes, they do updates. The first
like any
update
game or app.
was like the first update, and then like it went through 1.8, and like every update has like a new thing coming to it. Like the 1.15 is supposed to be the B update, but now it's a Baby Yoda and B update. And 1.14 was new blocks and stuff, slightly different textures.
Oh, cool.
And then 1.13 was the C update. 1.12 was a long time ago, and I have short-term memory loss, even though it's long-time memory loss or whatever. Yeah, 1.12 was like 700 years ago or whatever, and like I think it was lame, but I don't know because I haven't played it. Because who wants to? And 1.8 is the craziest update because like that was a long time ago. But it had Hero Brian, which scary. Wait, is it Hero Brian without the A? I don't know. Words. He has like the norm skin, with white eyeballs. Very powerful, very deadly. You don't want to live with him. And it also had the Farlands, which was like this big catacombs thingy. It was in story mode, so. Yeah.
When you go to play Minecraft, what is the thing you play the most, or the first thing you play, or whatever? The thing you like to do the most in there?
Sometimes I play by myself, but that's kind of boring in my opinion. And so, unless you start out with stuff, but still boring, because nothing to do, just like sitting there, nothingness.
Nothingness.
Yeah, so,
There's nothing.
boy.
Do you have to play with people in order to have fun with it, or do you sometimes do your own thing?
For me, I have to play with people whether I know them or not and play with them. So, servers are mostly a safe way to play with friends. Or just like play with random people online. So they have these different servers which have different games on them. So there's this server called Hypixel, very popular, and it has a mini game called Bed Wars where you have to like protect a bed for your team. Yeah, and like there's a big backstory or whatever, but like I forgot it already because it's been so long.
So long.
So you play it, protect your bed, and you have to go try to kill the other people's bed. And there's like these generators for emeralds, which get you stronger blocks and weapons and armor. And there's these diamond generators, which are on their own island, which get you like the normal stuff and things. And you can use the diamonds to upgrade your forge, which like gives you iron and gold to start out with. And there's upgrades for the generators, and then when they're all on the maxed upgrade, there's this point where it's bed destruction, where all the beds die, and the beds like give you the ability to respawn, and without the bed you can't respawn, so you only have one life.
Why a bed?
'Cause why not?
I don't know, just feel like there's one and a clock, or like a fork.
Yeah, there's also another game called Egg Wars,
Okay.
which is the same thing, just with an egg.
I'd play Egg Wars.
Why not Bed Wars?
I don't know.
Bed Wars is better.
Okay. Who do you like to watch on YouTube play Minecraft?
I used to watch Preston Plays, but now he's lame. Then I never really watched Unspeakable play Minecraft.
Do you still watch, there's a couple that used to play, you guys loved watching them.
Oh, Pat and Jen?
Yeah.
They divorced, which is sad.
Oh, that's terrible.
But they're still best friends.
That makes me really sad.
They're still best friends. They still do videos together, though.
Okay. That's a bummer. I loved when you guys would talk about them, and I'm like, that's a bummer.
But, I watch them sometimes, but, like, not that much. But I do rewatch their one of their main series, which was called Epic Proportions. Proportions.
If we
whatever
go
it's
to
called.
VidCon, who would you want to talk to?
Everybody. I also watch Smallish Beans. Don't know why he named himself that. And then I watched LD Shadow Lady. Still do. And I also watched DanTDM because why not?
Yeah, I still see when he updates stuff. All right, so we're almost at the theater.
What?
We're gonna meet your friend
Abby.
Abby and her mom Michelle and Kinsley, her little sister.
Yes.
Too. I don't know. I'm betting that. Well, none of them obviously seen this movie. I don't know if any of them have either seen the movies or read the book. Let's we'll pause this for now, and then we'll unpause it later to get the rest of your take for afterward. Now, we know a little bit about what we think what might happen going to the movie. I will say I'm anticipating I will be pleased with it.
I want at least one explosion.
I don't know that you're going to get any explosions in this movie.
No.
Not Avengers, not anything like that.
I don't care if it's Avengers or not. It has to have at least one explosion. Whether or not it's small, I don't care. It has to have an explosion.
Oh, honey, you need to really watch a lot more movies. No.
Explosions.
If it has an explosion, I will be quite surprised. If I don't like it more than the last Little Women movie, I will also be quite surprised. So here's hoping it's awesome. Let's come back to this later. And for right now, pause it. So that was all pre-screen, and now let's get to the reactions. Kiddos first. And thanks to our friends of the pod, Abby and Michelle, for giving us their 2 cents. Also, there are some spoilers just ahead, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, pause it and come back. Otherwise, proceed with all due haste.
Okay. So this be microphone. And yeah. Okay. I is with Abby. We just watched a screening. Go away.
Of Little Women.
You mean woman.
Oh yeah, like ramen but woman.
So what did you think about the movie? And like,
I thought the time jumps were really confusing because like Joe has short hair, Joe has long hair. What is going on? Like
Yes.
It didn't say like this many years earlier, this many years later, this many weeks later.
I think they do that for a reason, because it takes too long.
Oh yeah. Why would that take long?
Only because it'd be like an entire scene of 7 years later. Next scene,
Yeah.
So yeah. It started at the end, but I mean, like, why not? And
Also, we're not giving away spoilers.
I thought it was confusing because it was hard to realize the names and stuff, but it did have the actress of what's her name? Hermione Granger, Emma Watson.
So yeah, Emma Watson's in it.
Emma Watson was playing as Meg. And so, yeah, sorry if this is unprofessional because we be noobs.
Oh yes.
Okay, goodbye.
All right. I don't know what my daughter just said and what your daughter just said, but they're little. I know they were like confused. What did you think of it? How did you enjoy it?
I thought that it was really good. It jumped around a lot, but I liked it. And I think if you're familiar with the story, obviously it's just done really, really well. Yeah. So I think it struck up emotion. I think that it showed the struggle of women and independence really well, and that it's not just a new sort of thing, that it's just kind of always been there. And I just think that it was really well done.
Yeah. I agree. And by the way, for our podcast listeners, can you give us your first name?
Michelle.
Michelle. We know Michelle. And your daughter was with us at the screening. I felt the same way. There was a couple times when I got confused with the jumps. Just a couple.
Just a couple.
But then I'm like,
too.
and her hair helped a lot because of the length of her hair.
Well, I was listening to my daughter saying she has short hair, she has long hair, she has short hair, she has long hair. And for me, I was like, well, if she didn't have short hair or long hair, I wouldn't have known where we were at.
I agree.
So I think that was a good clue.
That's right. I totally used that as a cue for
Yeah.
like, okay, this is the before.
Okay, we're back.
And this is the after.
Totally.
But I thought they did a pretty good job. That was one cue, and then I liked how they would use set. So like she's walking down whatever the main street is along the storefronts in the future, and then you see her and her sisters walking the opposite way along those same storefronts in the past. So I and then like the beach. So I thought they did a really good job. I think one of the prettiest scenes that we saw was, remember when she was sitting with Beth talking about the tide, and then you saw the sand kind of drifting out.
Yeah.
Oh, that was killer.
Totally.
It was really good. Yes, we're
Just
recording.
One of those moments, and it just kind of lets you know, like, you have to cherish that second, just while they're hanging out.
Yeah, it was
So,
really good. It was
for
really
sure.
good, and I liked. But yeah, I thought Amy and Joe both had really good statements about, Oh, she can talk. Good statements about like what it was like for women and how it's an economic proposition.
Yeah.
And you're
and
like-
they mentioned that a few times.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It was really, really good. So cool. All right. Thank you very much. And we're gonna. Of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shall we go?
They really need to put transitions in that movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I was talking about, was that when you were saying she has short hair, she has long hair, she has short hair.
They leave you some cues,
That
but-
was actually a good cue of transitions.
And sometimes they had them in the same set.
Strange.
Yeah, I could see how they'd be confused. There was a
Half
couple
the
times
time,
even I was
Amy
like,
was in bangs in a braid, and then she was in this crazy
that was
French
part of the
butt.
other. That was the other social cue, was she has bangs when she was little.
Yeah.
And then her hair was swept back when
Although
she
I
was
do
older.
know when it was present because Beth wasn't there.
Yeah.
True.
Poor
And
Beth.
then you
God,
knew
that was
immediately
there.
afterward when they like cut back to the wedding.
And
she
I'm
was
like,
setting up for the wedding, right?
Bruh, I was confused because I didn't know who was talking because you couldn't see anybody's mouth.
Bummer.
Yeah, I was like, who is this? Also, I think Emma Watson is British. Like, all the movies I've seen her in, she's all like, I'm a British accent.
Do you know what I've heard about British actors who play Americans is that they find it to be very easy because they see so many movies that are American.
Oh.
They don't see a whole lot with British accents. I mean, Harry Potter, we think about that, but they're like, most of the movies they see are American accents, so they're like, yeah, we have no problem mimicking that. And I'm like, that makes total sense.
And it's like,
Yeah,
Okay, but then again, we
also,
can't be
Mom, this
fancy.
movie isn't even
Oh,
out.
sorry.
You know that, right?
I do. I do know that.
I know. Now you get to go tell all your friends, be like,
Consider yourself very
December
privileged.
Christmas.
Yeah, December Christmas.
it's fun to see it first, because then you can be like, guys, it's confusing.
If we confuse one.
Confusing.
Prepare yourself.
Yes.
It's confusing.
Watch the bangs. Actually, it's always watch the hair. Watch the hair, then you'll know what's going on.
Mom, wanna know something?
Abby, I was telling Miss Rachel that Aunt Ruth and Gabrielle wanted to go see it together.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell them it's confusion.
You should.
Confusion and delay. What would you rate,
Pretty nice.
rate the movie? Here it is.
Out of blah blah blah.
1 out of 10, 10 big breaths.
8.
Oh, really?
8, 7.
Okay. What's our rate? What's our rating item? What's our...
Beth death.
Oh, wow. 8 Beth deaths. We're in an echoey room right now, but and it's not really giving the farm away because it's a book. It's not like you can spoil it. The book's been out for ages.
Yeah, like grandma ages.
8 Beth deaths. Wow, that is macabre. All right. Who is your favorite character? Curious about this one. You're smacking your lips. Scott.
Maybe Amy? I honestly don't know.
I thought the actress who played Amy was on. I thought she did a really good
Yes.
job playing a child.
She,
And then a bit of a petulant older young woman, but
yeah.
kind of still maturing. I really liked, I think my favorite was Laurie's grandfather. The guy with the piano.
Oh yeah, that guy was nice. Laurie was just like,
Laurie was an awkward young man,
Who was,
overprivileged,
he was still, you know?
What'd you think of Joe?
Who?
Joe March.
Yas.
Like her?
No, just Yas. If anybody doesn't know what Yas means,
Well, geez.
too bad.
Internet. Yeah, it was good. And I think I really appreciated. I knew some of the actors in it, but they
Like
did a
Emma
good-
Watson.
Yeah.
Didn't get the last part.
Oh, I didn't get distracted by the fact that I knew some of the actors.
You cry at literally every movie.
And I love the way that lady overheard you. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you sound like my kids."
Gee, I wonder why.
Because we cry at everything.
Exactly.
I thought, I mean, for people, who do you think would like this movie the most?
Like people both of us know.
Well, like, what kind of, like, families, or people who are romantic, or people who like history?
We are not talking about the R word.
Okay. But, like, your dad likes history. I don't think he'd like that movie necessarily, because it is more about...
Death.
What did they... Well, what did Joe say? She's like, nobody wants to read a book about domestic troubles. But that's exactly...
Unless you're my dad.
Yeah. I like the part where, and spoilers, I like the part where the three young girls come to their dad and like, "Where's the rest of this book?" He's like, "Hold on a second. I believe I found the audience."
Guess I need to read it then.
There you have it. We hope you enjoy Little Women, and let us know what you think on our website, www.unposit.show. Oh, and you know what would be an amazing holiday gift for us? A review of our podcast. May the stars be brightly shining as you rate us wherever you listen to podcasts, and stay tuned for more reactions from Unposit.